Today's subject:
behavior bad. What is wrong with this company? I'm going to start with the event cake because that's what most people are complaining about right now. Let's just look at the timeline here. The anniversary event started June 25th, and since the first day of this event, Behavior has had issues with the spawn rate of the event cakes, which they acknowledge in this tweet. 9 days later, they say it's fixed, and spawn rates are working as intended, except the cakes are still barely spawning. Then Behavior triples down and says they decreased the amount of event cakes last year, and we're actually getting more this year, which is a blatant lie, as proven by these community notes. They literally tried to hit us with the "don't believe your lying eyes," and of course, after getting proven wrong, they did the walk of shame and deleted their tweet. I really don't believe them when they say this is just a bug, and that's for many reasons. If you want to watch a video going more in depth, I recommend this one. It's going to be in the description. I don't want to go super in depth into it because I don't just want to repeat everything that Arianat said, so I'll just give you one of my reasons. If this were a bug, they would have just patched it in a single hotfix and been done with it, not gone back and forth with all these tweets. I personally believe they intended for the cakes to be at the super low spawn rate. This one's going to be particularly crazy, and you'll see why. They start off by saying, "Following player reports, we have been investigating why the Toothy Torty offering is appearing less than the previous year, and while we have not completed our investigation into why the previous year granted more than the intended amount, we have made the decision to increase the current guaranteed amount of Toothy Torties so that each level of the blood web will still have at least one offering to guarantee 50 offerings per prestige level for the rest of the event." So let's break this down. First, they say there isn't an issue, then they say there is an issue but it's just a bug, then they say the bug is fixed when it isn't, and they are now backtracking an entire year saying that last year's event is the one that's bugged and this one's working fine. If that's the case, how did the Bloody Masquerade go bugged for the entire event plus all of this time with not a single one of Behavior's 1,300 employees noticing? And then even though they say that this year's spawn rates are working as intended, they then give in and they say that they're going to increase the spawn rate. So if it's working as intended and everything's good in the hood, why would they then increase it again? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Keep in mind, we are now 10 days into the event and it's been nothing but disappointment and issues. With how hard they're gatekeeping blood points, you'd think they were some kind of premium currency that can buy anything in the game, but they're not. Blood points are make-believe currency that you can only use in the blood web to buy add-ons or items. Behavior could literally give every person who plays the game 100 million blood points and it wouldn't affect them in the slightest. In fact, 100 million sounds like a lot, but remember, that's barely enough to max out one character. All of this screams to me that for one reason or another, Behavior wants to give the players the absolute bare minimum amount of cakes, which again I'm very confused about because blood points don't actually do anything except level up your character. This is to me an example of them being just greedy. Now I want to talk about the game's actual premium currency. Dead by Daylight's premium currency is Auroric cells. The only way to acquire these cells is to buy them in-game for real money. I already have an issue with this because I believe nothing in video games should be locked behind a paywall because this breeds pay-to-win environments, which this game has plenty of examples of certain skins / perks you get from characters, making the game much more in your favor. The actual discount you're getting right now for the event I think is laughable. We're celebrating 10 years of Behavior making hundreds of millions of dollars off of people who play this game, and the best they can do is a measly 15% discount. I also think it's wrong to lock outfits for original characters behind a paywall, especially since the outfits don't actually change gameplay at all. It is absolutely criminal that these collections actually cost money since they're all from original characters. These should be able to be earned in game. That's insane. And I especially find it despicable that they refuse to discount the price to purchase outfits with iridescent shards. Iridescent shards are an in-game currency that you can farm to buy characters that are not licensed. Iridescent shards are a problem all on their own. Behavior has been giving out less and less each year. Like for example, this event, they gave 200 iridescent shards the first day of the event, and then cut that down to 75 every day that you log in while the Black Banquet's underway. To put this into perspective, if you log in every single day of the event, that's only 1,775 iridescent shards, which can only buy a few survivors with the current discount and no killers at all. Let's compare this. I'm going to use another game that's also infamous for being terrible, but people still playing. That game is For Honor. Now this game has plenty wrong with it, but something I will always praise is nothing is behind a paywall. You buy heroes, skins, effects, emotes, and executions, all with steel. Each hero costs 15,000 steel, so theoretically you can get a new hero in around 11 days just off the daily rewards. Compare that with Dead by Daylight's grind, and it's pretty outrageous. And another really quick note on Behavior's greed, they just released Hanako Shimizu, and she doesn't have any unique voice lines, she just has a model change, and the quote-unquote unique menu animation is just her standing slightly differently. This is just a waste of money. And while we're on the topic of skins, I want to talk about the new one that just dropped for Trapper and Dwight. To be blunt, they're bad. It's just a reskin of the old legacy skins, which is cool that new players have the opportunity to get them, but the design itself is just very lackluster. You can barely tell the difference while comparing Trapper's skin versus the new one, and I know this sounds more like Behavior just being lazy instead of greedy, but I think they go hand in hand. Let me explain. I think that they're lazy because they're greedy, not in spite of it. It's this obsession with only investing the bare bones amount back into the game to make it better that leads to the devs being lazy with their coding and planning for the game. I'm just going to keep hammering home that this company has 1,300 employees and makes $400 million a year, and they almost religiously underperform and barely deliver on the most basic forms of upkeep for this game. I believe that the greedy nature of Behavior as a corporation, combined with the lackadaisical and blasé way that the devs handle themselves, I think it's kind of creating like this toxic feedback loop where instead of like with a lot of companies where you'll hear outcries from the devs where they're like, we're trying, we want to do better, we want to make things better and do what the community wants, but corporate won't let us. It seems to be the opposite. It seems to be the orders coming from the top to just kind of let this game fall by the wayside. It seems like that way of thinking is championed by the dev team, and anyone who doesn't have that way of thinking is either fired or pushed out. From the outside, that's what it looks like. That's all I have to say about this issue at this time. I hopefully have gotten my point across. I would go more in depth on some of these things, but I am on a time crunch to get this video done before I go engage in some Independence Day festivities. On that note, everyone have fun, eat some good grilled food, safely blow some stuff up, and have a wonderful weekend with your family. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.